Good morning, I'm Scott Luton and Greg White with Supply Chain Now Radio. Thanks for tuning in as we're going to be offering up our brief recap of day 2 of the EFT Logistics CIO Forum in Austin, Texas, which was...
It was a Reuters event, and it was a good one.
That's right. And you know, we stressed that a lot, but that's a really big development for the EFT team to become part of the Reuters global organization. So kudos to them in this certain growth phase that they're entering into. Day 2 was a continuation of the outstanding interviews we had day 1, and we're going to give you very brief highlights of the 7 interviews that we conducted on day 2. We started with who, Greg?
Dr. Manjeet Singh, DHL Supply Chain. He's their research director. Eyes and hands and mind on everything coming in the future in supply chain.
He offered his bold, fearless predictions for not only what's right around the corner, but also what's 15 years down the road. So you want to tune in for that. And it's really neat to see this was Manjeet's second time on the show with us.
Yeah.
It really confirmed that DHL truly is on the bleeding edge of a lot of the innovation, especially from a technology standpoint, that's being deployed across the end-to-end supply chain. So really enjoyed sitting down with him. And on a personal note, we enjoyed.
He's a huge fan, and as you said before, connoisseur of stand-up comedy. I would call him an ambassador for stand-up comedy.
Stand-up comedy community. I love that.
He and his wife went to New York for 6 days just to see 15 stand-up comedy shows.
Study of human behavior for sure.
Yeah.
Really enjoyed sitting down with Dr. Manjeet Singh with DHL Supply Chain. Then up next was Rob Cook, Chief Technology Officer with Sheer Logistics.
Yeah, he's been on the show before with the guys from EFT. Impressive group. He's based in Cary, North Carolina. His company, Sheer, has offices in St. Louis. Yep. And we talked a lot about the evolution of tech in supply chain and logistics. And, there's a whole lot there that we talked about. But one of the most fascinating things, on a personal note, was the great East-West Carolina barbecue debate. Yeah.
Hatfields and McCoys. Between those two portions of the state. But it's all good if you love barbecue. So you have to tune in to get his take of which one he prefers, which was a bold and fearless.
Yeah, that took guts.
Yeah,
especially since he had to go home.
That's right. Up next was Chris Langford, VP of Engineering with Next Trucking. So Greg, I want to get your take on what he shared with us. But first off, he is a physics graduate from Indiana University that came into supply chain with some pretty non-biased perspective. Yeah,
he had been in other industries before, really cut his teeth, still cutting his teeth in supply chain. What Next Trucking is doing is helping companies get through the ports, especially the West Coast ports, LA and Long Beach, and get their goods into the marketplace and do so efficiently. And
they're expanding.
Well, they've got inertia. Let's just say, since we're talking about physics.
And
they're looking at coming to some of the East Coast ports. They're looking at Savannah and Charleston, where they feel like they can have a great impact as well, right?
Why do you use those big words when my phone, I can't wiki it real quick. Now, they've got a lot of momentum, and it was a real sharp leadership team member that Chris is with Next Trucking. It was really great to sit down with him.
Huge Indiana University fan, and Indiana did him right by winning and breaking into the top 25 first time since 1994, in football.
So Chris was the second biggest Indiana University fan I've ever met. Jeff Smith here lives in the Atlanta area, is the #1 all-time Hall of Fame Indiana University fan.
Right?
Got to give Jeff a shout out.
Yeah.
Okay, up next after Chris was Rob Turner, Partner Alliance Executive with Fujitsu.
Yeah, we got a little lesson how to pronounce Fujitsu. So we talked about the fact that I had owned a Fujitsu laptop before, so I already knew. I feel like it's an additional language.
You're meeting a friend of the family.
That's right. We talked a lot about digital transformation, like we did with a lot of folks. Big topic in supply chain, big topic generally. And also smart content capture. They are taking what's on paper and putting it into data to make it more searchable and more valuable to entities as they do business.
Yeah, you can move faster, make decisions faster, and feel like you've got all the information with few mistakes.
Yeah.
All that's a huge help as everyone's going through the digital transformation in one way, shape, or form.
Yep.
Up next, Gert Sylvest, one of the co-founders of an incredible group, TradeShift. One of my favorite components of that interview was how one of the things they're doing is they're making financing available to a lot more people across the business community. So we coined it really quick, supply chain finance for the people. But that's just one of the things they're up to.
Yeah, they have so much going on, and what Gert is doing now is he's running Frontiers for TradeShift, which is essentially a skunkworks group that's doing a lot of forward-looking, forward-thinking, and forward development to try and assess what the next generation of solutions will be in the marketplace. This company, they're out of Denmark. They are making waves already, but looking to continue to sustain that. Look, that's a great lesson in disrupt yourself, right? It's definitely worth the listen.
And in a non-cliche way as well.
Right.
I know that's
real disruption, right. Yeah.
But enjoy sitting down with Gert. And then we finish with a bang. So Susan Beardsley is principal analyst of the freight, transportation, and logistics practice at ABI Research.
Right.
Susan also happened to serve what role?
She was the chair of the event and MC.
That's right.
She has an unbelievable energy. I mean, she was the very last interview that we did, and she was fresh as a daisy the entire thing. She is a fireball and tremendously knowledgeable. She calls herself the truck lady.
Yes.
Right? So
love that.
And she knows a lot about what's going on. Again, it seemed like the second day was a lot about people with an eye to the future, right? Everyone has that to some extent, but if you think about Manjeet, and Chris and Gert and Susan, they all are making a study of the future of supply chain, and I think that's a really important thing considering the transitional stage that we're in supply chain.
There was a ton of visionariness throughout the 2 days at the conference, and that's probably not a word, but
I'm going to look that up.
But Susan, we did finish with a bang. And one other thing about Susan's commentary, the main thrust was how she was talking about how the variety of technology platforms that we use in supply chain, whether it's WMS or TMS or ERP or you name it, they've got to play nice in the sandbox together. And she really couched that around connectivity, transparency, and security.
Yeah.
So great conversation. We really needed a couple hours to dive into some of the things that she was sharing. But on the whole, hopefully you, our listener, will enjoy these interviews as much as we did throughout the 2 days. Look for those to be published over the next couple of weeks. And Greg, we offer a get your money back
guarantee. If you don't like the product that we produce, you can get 100% of your money back right away.
Kidding aside, great home run event with a wide variety of leaders that were visionary, that really represented the next level of technology that's coming into the end-to-end supply chain industry. And you can learn more. Find our podcast wherever you get your podcasts from, or check out our library at supplychainradio.com, and be sure to check out our partners, EFT, Nick, Asif, and the whole team, which is now part of Reuters, over at EFT.com.
Great event.
Yeah. Outstanding event. So for Greg White and Scott Luton and the whole Supply Chain Now Radio team, thanks for tuning in, and we hope to see you at a trade show coming to your town next.